I think, a fair amount before it started recording.
Mm.
Really?
So we've got to. Of course, we had like, oh god, 5 or 6 minutes of nonsense at the beginning, so I think it's fine, but still. And so, of course, they all stopped talking. Yep, that's how it
Well,
works.
I'm trying to get prepped for the episode. Like I saw there were emails earlier today, but I didn't actually read them. That's part of the reason why I didn't respond to them. So now I'm looking at our content right here and trying to come up with ideas.
Just do it live. I haven't looked at these either.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
guys are in for a fun time.
Yeah, good luck.
red rares, everybody. Red rares.
Yeah. Okay, look. Top level prep work because I had to work all day. I had a Hearthstone stream to do, and then I stopped the Hearthstone stream to go DoorDash, which I really should have just kept streaming, honestly, because it was not a good night.
Really? Even with the storm and
The
everything?
storm didn't start here until I was almost done.
That's-
So, like, I cut my stream off at 4:30, right? I got my first order finally around like 5. At 6, I had delivered 2 things and made $10. I was only dashing until 6:30. And then I got...
Ugh, sorry.
That was a sneeze? Oh my god, are you okay?
I think so.
I got one more order that was $9, but it took me all the way to High Point, and I went, I hate people that order from Kernersville and make me take it to High Point for not enough money. But then when I gave it to them, there was a $15 tip, so it was actually a $19 order. And I went, wow, I feel bad for hating those people this whole drive because DoorDash only showed me that I was making $9, and I took it because I didn't think I'd get enough orders to make up for skipping it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, big ass tip, and I went, ha!
Well, there you go.
But still, I did 3 deliveries. I made, what, $30? I guess that's actually not bad. That last order made up for how crappy the rest of the night was.
The last one was way out of proportion. So
Yeah, it brought up the average all by itself.
yes, which I mean you're glad for, but it does under normal circumstances 3 orders. Question mark.
Yeah, especially when the first 2 were $6 and $4. I was like, so glad these people don't tip. Tip your delivery drivers, damn it. Do it now.
I've been wondering about tipping since I've been picking up more food myself, and people are, businesses. It's not like I can be waited on inside because I'm not going inside. I guess some places are open. I have not eaten inside a restaurant yet. I don't intend to until I feel comfortable with that. So I don't blame the restaurant for the fact that I don't feel comfortable going inside, but my policy is usually tip drivers and tip wait staff. When you go to the front and you pick up your meal and they're like, all right, do you want to leave a tip? When I'm picking it up, I'm like, not sure, because I know that, yes, people still went into making the food and all that, but I don't know. I was not actually served except the 2 minutes I've been at the front counter. So it's always been kind of a question mark for me. But drivers, I feel like that's why would you not tip a driver? I don't get that. They brought you your food.
I recommend in these trying times, if you're able, to tip them as if you were waited on, because restaurants are not making near as much money as they were.
Well, I'm aware, and I'm not saying not to. I'm just saying I've been having to reconsider what was my policy, but I don't know why anyone would not tip a driver.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's just dumb.
If anything, a driver is probably, at least the way I handle tipping drivers, it ends up being quite a bit more than if I were sitting down, because I'm only spending somewhere between like $8 to $15 on whatever I'm ordering, depending on what it is. So if I tipped like I was sitting down, that actually come out less than what I think is fair for a driver. So I'm like, $3 or $4, depending on what it is what I'd shoot for.
Yeah, since I started delivery driving, I have found myself tipping delivery drivers more than I might have in the past. Well, before I wouldn't have ordered anything, so it's more than nothing.
The single most generous tipper I've ever known is a gentleman that all of us have been to dinner with that used to deliver pizzas. And
this must be Tom, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And he is the most generous tipper I've ever seen. Because I think it's, one of those things where when you've been in that situation, you know what all's involved. So.
Anyway, right. So that's enough time to make sure that it has... What is that sound? Something outside. I can hear it in my right ear, which means it's coming from the front door.
It's coming from inside the apartment.
It's rhythmic. I wonder if some of my idiot neighbors are just playing music real loud. I don't know.
Possibly.
Hey, in happier news, my upstairs neighbors are gone.
So these would not be the neighbors playing loud music because that
No, they never played loud music. They were just loud people.
Okay.
I think it's the ones next door to them who are usually the ones playing loud music. Usually I can't hear that back here, though. I don't know what the hell's going on out there. It's distracting as hell because it's like...
Maybe that all the furniture from directly upstairs is moved out. There's nothing to absorb it.
Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, let's get to it. Ow, jam! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 598 of the Mana Pool, and I am Chewy.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am. I am the lead dork and the guy what does all the production work and does the streaming and wears I'm not wearing pants, I'm wearing shorts. Never mind. I was going to say, and wears the pants, but nope.
Shorts are a kind of pants. I will die on that hill.
No, you won't. Rule 1, no dying.
Okay. See, I was kind of hoping, as soon as I said it, I'm like, could you picked a better one? Maybe somebody will call you out. So thank you for the out. Maybe I'll...
I have all these other dorks here, though.
Yeah, hey, I'm Brian. I'm the lead rambler, tangent master of the group, and I guess if I'm going to pick a hill to die on, it won't be pants versus shorts. Something more to do with civil liberties and da-da-da-da. I mean, I like shorts. I'm wearing shorts.
Lord.
I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy and the game lore guy. And let's see. I think I'd be willing to go for the hill regarding hot dogs being sandwiches, but
Really?
I wouldn't say I would die on it. It's not quite important enough. Yes, hot dogs are sandwiches.
No, hot dog. I actually saw a diagram about this not long ago. It turns out hot dogs are actually tacos.
Oh, that diagram. Yeah, that's a really useful classification system, actually.
It is.
It's very silly, but it's also very useful.
Does that mean that tacos are sandwiches?
No, tacos are tacos.
Yeah.
Hot dogs are also tacos because it's the shape of the container.
Yeah, it's a classification system based on, like, you put an imaginary cube around whatever you're eating, and where the bread appears on each side of the cube determines what kind of food it is.
And if it's a full cube, it's a cannoli, not cannoli. What's
Stromboli.
cannoli? Jesus. What's the thing?
Zamborghini.
A pie?
The Italian food.
Oh God, I lost the word too.
Cannoli.
No, that's what I said.
No, not cannoli.
No, you said stromboli.
Freaking damn it.
The other
What is
one.
it?
Chat, help!
The other one. Oh,
Stromboli.
Stromboli.
Is that it? No, that's not
Did
it.
you say
God.
that?
No, we said that twice, but no, there's one that starts with a C. What is it?
Not Stromboli. Cannoli.
Calzone.
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 Oh my God.
Calzone.
I had to
Hey,
type
Dirk,
in
are you here
Stromboli
too?
versus, and autocorrect finished it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dirk, are you here too?
I am. I'm just. I'm like. I just let the conversation go. I'm just like.
Can't imagine why.
I'm Dirk, the self-proclaimed greenest man alive and moral compass of the group, and there's not any particular hill of just everydayness that I'm willing to lay my life down on.
It's probably better that way.
I was about to say.
Not even the Swedish
I guess
chef?
the only one that I would say is that Final Fantasy VII Remake is a really good game. There you go.
So
played it,
on the screen now is the cube rule of food, just for anyone who.
Ooh, I haven't had sushi in a long time.
There we go. So if the container's only on the bottom, it's toast. If it's the top and the bottom, it's a sandwich. If it's bottom and two sides, it's a taco. If it's the four top and bottom and two sides, it's sushi. If it's a bowl, it's soup and salad with a bread bowl. And if it's all six sides, it's a calzone.
What about taquito?
I will come to your house and punch you in the
Taquito
face.
technically falls under sushi then.
Yes,
Yep.
taquito is a
Taquito's
sushi. That's why a hot dog is a taco. Duh. Like the little pig in a blanket thing. Pig in a blanket is sushi.
What about
I'll make sure to feel much classier the next time I eat it.
what
Damn
about
right you will.
Are corn dogs also tacos?
What is?
Corn dogs.
Corn dogs would be calzones.
Yep.
Yeah, because the bread is completely surrounding it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not hard.
That also means everything you buy at the fair would be a calzone.
Oh
It's
yeah.
all coated in fried grease.
Okay. Anyway, this is not the Manipool Sandwich Cast.
Are you
This-
sure?
You don't know. It could be.
I mean,
Branch it out, yo.
we could just spend this episode arguing about food classification, and I would actually be cool with that. But we'll name the
What did we do for
episode.
episode 600. We talked about food.
Yeah, we'll name it the Cube episode, and people will be like, "Whoa, they're talking about cubes. It's been years." And they'll open up and listen and be like, "I hate you." And
Really, I would totally buy street food in Kaladesh because although I don't know, kind of a wimp when it comes to some food. So
yeah, Brian doesn't do spicy all that well, if I remember correctly.
correct. That's yeah. I'm trying to get more experience. Anyway, so not food then. Then what are we talking about, oh fearless leader? Fearsome leader? No.
Oh, that would be me. Okay, I was
Yeah.
like, fearless leader. Did y'all get a new leader when I wasn't looking? I am very fearsome. I'm very, very scary. Yes, so this week we decided to just do a segment. Something nice that we could just do and get back into the groove of talking about Magic when it's not never-ending preview season. By the way, we are not going to do previews for Amonkhet Remastered. That set just came out. It's just going on to Arena. No one cares. Okay? Okay.
I am absolutely fine with that.
Yeah. So the segment that was decided on, I think mostly by Brian, was another Mythic Conscription. Yay!
Yay.
So, Mythic Conscription, for those that are just joining us, hello, welcome. Hope you enjoyed the food talk. Mythic Conscription is where we look back at old sets from before the time there was a mythic rarity. Because mythic rarities didn't show up until... Why do I always forget this? Was it Shards?
Shards of Alara.
Shards of Alara.
Yeah. Which means there were a lot. There's a lot. Like a lot of Magic sets before that.
I'm just gonna send you something in the mail. Just a blank sheet of paper, otherwise blank sheet of paper. In the middle of it, it's just gonna have in tiny print, it's Shards of Alara. And then next time we do one of these, you're gonna be like, I think it was. I'm just gonna be like, think of the paper. So before Alara, there was no mythic rarity.
Correct. And so what we're doing is we're looking at the rares in one of these sets, one set at a time, and trying to figure out which, if any of them, would have been mythic. So that's what we do here. Oh, and chat just said the mana pool itself is a bread bowl or salad. Oh, the logo. Yes. Yeah. I was like, how do you get that? But because I thought you meant us. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Because Brian has bread on 5 sides, duh.
Oh, man. Is there something that has bread on the top and 4 sides so it'll be an inverted salad? Whoa. It's a bread bowl. It's upside down.
A baked Alaska, because it's like a big ass thing of ice cream, and on top of it is the meringue that you set on fire, right? Am I thinking of that right?
Mike, stop playing with fire at the dinner table. But anyway, so the last time that we did a Mythic Conscription, it was Invasion, which means we're continuing along in the Invasion block. So we have Planeshift, which was the second set in the Invasion block, in case I didn't make that clear. Not Plane Chase, and not Planar Chaos, and not... Was that all? Was there another one?
That's probably all.
Yeah, Plane... Crap, which one's the right one? Planeshift. There we go. So, shall we... Oh, now chat is saying that we are all wonderful calzones. Aww.
Mm-hmm.
Does the skin count as bread? So does that mean if I had no skin on one side, I would be... Anyway. Is that weird? That seems weird.
Got weird.
It did get weird, and that's what I do. I apologize. So, here we are. We're looking at the white rares. Voice of All doesn't count. It was an uncommon in this set.
There's at least one common in every color, or one uncommon in every color that was upgraded to rare at some point. All
except for red.
Okay. And green.
And green. Yeah.
So
in 3 of the 5. Good job, Brian.
So hey, there's literally one cycle here. Do we want to hit that cycle real quick? It's the Planeswalker enchantments.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's a cycle?
Yeah.
No, because I think they're...
No.
Yeah, I think they're different enough to... It's fine to talk about them, I think.
Okay.
And there's only 5 cards in each color, so we'll just let it go.
Okay. All right. So white.
Nope.
All right. So blue.
So blue. Yeah.
Yeah. White is difficult.
White is difficult. I'm wondering about Orum's Chant, and yes, I'm doing this pre-Isochron Scepter before anyone asks.
That was actually the only one I looked at and thought.
Because I don't know that it. I wonder if it's just different enough, and certainly, okay. So, Orum's Chant for 1 white is an instant. It also has a kicker of a white. Target player can't cast spells this turn. If you paid the kicker cost, creatures can't attack this turn. So for 1 white, it's just, you know, hey, I'm about to combo off, so guess what? You can't counter my stuff or blow up my stuff or whatever. You know, you can't cast spells this turn. For the additional white, it's, oh, and if I did this, maybe I did this during your upkeep, because I'm about to win next turn. Your stuff can't attack, and you can't play any more spells. You can't cast any more spells. So I wonder if it's different enough, kind of a unique effect, and it showcases one of the new mechanics of the block. I realized not of the set, because Kicker was introduced in Invasion, but still. So I'm kind of wondering about that also, looking at the rest of this. Samite Elder.
Whenever I was looking at Orum's Chant, I thought, essentially, aside from them playing a land, this shut someone's turn down.
Basically, yes. Now,
and that's the only reason why I looked at it and thought, this could be, because we've seen where red was mythic because, or blue was mythic because it essentially lets you, someone like lost a turn or something. And this is sorta, kinda does that. Except they get to play a land.
Now, the thing that kind of keeps it in check is it's a 1 turn kind of effect, you know, barring Isochron Scepter, which again did not exist at the time.
But Orum's Chant was unique at the time. Nothing really did this, you know. There'd been stuff like Fog and Holy Day to do the, you know, messing with combat part, and a couple of other white cards that said so-and-so can't attack this turn or on their next turn.
Wasn't there a white creature way back in Mirage Block that did something with combat?
Peacekeeper?
That's the one.
Yeah, no one can attack, yeah.
I could just see her art. I couldn't remember what she did.
But the target player can't play spells this turn is unique, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some really stupid clunky card from Legends or something. But in terms of like a clean, worthwhile effect, Orum's Chant was unique when it first appeared.
Of course, the only card from in white that's been reprinted at all is Voice of All, and it's solidly printed as rare.
Well, and it was an uncommon at the time anyway, so that's not even up for debate.
Yeah, to me, the Orum's Chant is the only one that stands out that way.
So, just to run through the white cards real quick, this is how bad it is. We've got Dominaria's Judgment, which give things protection from a color based on your basic lands.
Yes.
March of Souls, which turns all creatures into 1/1 flyers.
Basically, yeah.
You've got Planeswalkers. What does that even say? This is why we got the new card frame, because what does that say?
Mirth. Planeswalker's Mirth.
Like, I know it says Mirth, but I can't tell that by looking. It looks like it says Planeswalker's March, which makes no sense.
Oh yeah, I can't read it. I only know what it says because I know what it says.
Exactly.
Luckily, we haven't had the debate for a long time about the old versus the new card back.
Thank goodness.
This to me is just a clear example of why it's nice to be able to read your cards.
Yeah, but all the Planeswalker enchantments have players reveal things from their hand, I think, and then stuff happens.
Reveal random cards from an opponent's hand.
Yeah, and so this one is gain life equal to that card's converted mana cost. Woo. And then Semite Elder is creatures you control tap to give creatures you control protection from the color of target permanent you control.
So you already have to have a permanent of that color, which I guess is probably how you keep it from being ridiculous. But
yeah. Now remember, this was the gold set, like the follow-up to the very first set that was about being golden cards.
Right.
Because Invasion was all about not just, hey, it's got golden cards because they've done that many times, but this was about multicolored cards. what would later become Ravnica and Shards of Valar and that sort of thing. This was the first attempt. And so Dominaria's Judgment, you know, if you're playing a bunch of different basic lands, you get increased power there. And the Semite Elder, if you're playing multicolored stuff, you could give all of your stuff protection from multiple colors. Wow! Still not good, though.
No.
Semite Elder is the closest of these others that could possibly have been Mythic because it can give a great big blanket protection effect from lots of stuff.
True.
But yeah,
But it's not quite there.
Not really.
nope.
It needs a lot
So
of help to do its thing.
So, given that that's the competition, like, Orum's Chant is really the... If we had to pick something, it's got to be Orum's Chant, right?
It has to be. Even that, I was like, that's... I almost didn't think so, because it is such a, like, very limited, like, one-shot thing. But I think it's probably close enough. It's probably unique enough. So...
Elder now says, creatures you control gain protection from the colors of target permanent you control until... Yeah, that's what it... Yeah, that's what it says on the original text, too.
This without the extra punctuation.
Yeah. I didn't get a functional change or anything, so... Yeah. But... Alright, so Orum's Chant, if we had to pick one, it would be that one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That has been the consensus.
Alright. So blue?
So, blue.
My thought was Sunken Hope.
Okay, well, what's it do?
So for 3 and 2 blue, it's an enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player returns a creature they control to its owner's hand. And the reason why I thought it was, and again, I don't know if that this was a set I never played and everything, but if there was something that came in and it did something when it came into play, then having it come back to their hand allowed them to redo that. It also, because everyone kept bringing stuff back, the more expensive something was, you had to keep playing it. So players who had to play only had like 1 or 2 big things, they could never attack because they kept having to bounce it and then have to replay it. And so this had a little bit of advantage to white weenies or people who, if you sacrifice something and were getting tokens, the tokens were gone if you bounced them, or they could be fodder. So it felt like this had a lot of stuff that you could do stuff with.
Yeah, it's the best, most functional card on this list. And like you were saying, it has the biggest potential for breaking that symmetry. You know, if you're prepared to exploit the ability as a huge advantage, awesome. Most of your opponents, it's just gonna be an annoyance for them. They won't really be able to capitalize on that.
Yes, true. I can see that, and I've played with Sunken Hope because it was reprinted.
It was?
Yeah, in one of the core sets.
No,
Yeah.
10th edition. Look at that.
Yeah, that's
10th?
the 10th edition art is the one that actually comes to mind.
Oh, yeah. I recognize the art now.
But so I'm not going to fight you too much on that one, but I do want to look at Planeswalker's Mischief because we weren't going to treat them as a cycle, and I do think this one, compared to Planeswalker's Mirth, may actually be more interesting. So I'm going to pop this out and read the Oracle text. So Planeswalker's Mirth for 2 and a blue. This enchantment for 3 and a blue. Activated ability. Target opponent reveals a card at random from their hand. If it's an instant or sorcery card, exile it. You may cast it without paying its mana cost for as long as it remains exiled. If it would have X in the cost, X is 0. At the beginning of the next end step, that's interesting, sorry. If you haven't cast it, return to its owner's hand. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. So, The fact that it allows you to pull a card from an opponent's hand, and if it fits in one of those types, it's exiled. So first of all, they can't use it this turn. But then it gives you the ability to cast it for free. For free. I think that could be interesting. I'm not saying it's a particularly powerful effect. I think it's probably balanced well with the cost of the enchantment and the cost of the activation. But that being said, I wonder. The disadvantage to this is I don't really love when it comes to cycles making some of them mythic and some of them not, because it's a feel weird. It feels weird, man. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, you know, we talked about Force of Will versus the other pitch cards and alliances, and Force of Will and I think the black one were definitely the standouts. So what do you guys think of Planeswalker's Mischief?
I have a bias against it because it's the worst one of the cycle.
Really? You think?
Yes, it's awful. Half the time it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, half the time it's pay 4 mana, look at a card in their hand.
At sorcery speed.
Yeah.
So you don't think the potential payoff is worth it?
No.
Okay.
Not for 4 mana.
Do you think the effect is interesting and or unique enough to get it there? Because you said you have a personal bias, or do you think it's just too much of a give and take?
It's just too much. Like, there's multiple cards in blue. If there was just something different about them, not only would they be workable cards, but they could possibly be mythic. Like, if Waterspell Elemental does not need the skip your next turn part. It doesn't.
It does not. It really doesn't, does it?
Drownew's Pet doesn't need to cost so much mana, either in its mana cost or in the kicker ability. If something was different about some of these cards, maybe, but no. They just have too much baggage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like Drownew's Pet costs 3, has a kicker of 3 in a different color, and discard a creature card for it to have flying and be bigger based on the card's converted mana cost that you discarded. So if you discard, I don't know, like a 5-drop, then you paid 6 and discarded a card for a 7/7 with flying.
7/7 with flying is pretty awesome.
But
for that much,
for 3 black, blue, and a discard a 6-drop,
it's a big ask.
Yeah, and like Waterspell Elemental,
and you can only discard a creature card.
Exactly. And like Waterspell Elemental, I was reading it and I'm like, wow, this is really good. What? So for anyone listening, for 3 blue, it's a 3/4 Elemental with kicker of a single blue. 3/4 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, if you kicked it, return all other creatures to their owner's hands, and you skip your next turn. What? Yeah, to paraphrase what chat just said, when Waterspell Elemental enters the battlefield, if you paid the kicker cost, kick yourself in the balls. Like, like they're all just bad, except for Sunken Hope, and I can't say that Sunken Hope is mythic. I just can't.
I mean, of these,
well, maybe not every color. This is a gold set. Maybe not every color has a mythic.
Yeah.
well, that would be absolutely true.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Go ahead and skip straight to the gold part.
Well, let's do black.
Yeah.
Black.
The thing is, yeah, Sunken Hope is a good normal rare magic card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the rest of them.
Yeah, and then the rest is dildos. So, like comparatively, it's the mythic, but like in reality, it's nah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I have a message for you dorks from Clues. He says, please tell the dorks that I said Saskatchewan. Thanks.
The cactus blooms at midnight. I'm not. Is this a code?
Just give it away on the air, Brian.
I'm sorry. The cactus blooms at 2 a.m. There we go.
It's a long way to Alderaan.
Big Apple, 3 a.m.
And I know what that's from.
Yeah, Brian understood that reference. Okay, so Black. This is how bad the set is.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you guys. I was looking at this to try to get ready, and I'm like, huh. So Black. I feel like maybe. How do we feel about tutors, just in general? Because diabolic intent, maybe. I mean, it's a it's a take back to demonic tutor. So for 1 and a black, it's a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast diabolic intent, sacrifice a creature, search your library for a card and put into your hand, then shuffle your library. So it's the second half of that is demonic tutor. It just has sacrifice a creature, which demonic tutor is too good for the cost. It just is. For modern printing and for even the time that this set came out, it was. So does the sacrifice a creature just remove it entirely, and do you feel like it's more fairly balanced, or do we think that this is maybe still good enough? Inquiring minds want to know. Like me, I'm inquiring.
For this set, it could have been mythic. You know, depending on what you're doing, coming up with a creature to sacrifice could be pretty easy.
It feels the most mythic-y of the black cards in this one.
Yeah. I wondered about whether they might have done it with Phyrexian Scuda, since it's a callback to Jusum Jin. But I don't know.
Phyrexian Scuda is a hell of a uncommon.
Nowadays, yeah.
These days,
Now,
yeah.
At the time.
So Phyrexian Scooter for 3 and a black is a 3/3 zombie. Nailed it. But it has a kicker of pay 3 life, and if you pay the kicker, it gets 2 +1/+1 counters. So it's a 4 mana 5/5. Which we have to keep saying this. This is at a time before creatures got good again.
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of sick at the time. 4 mana 5/5, and all it took was a bolt to the face. Psh, no problem.
Yeah, and I remember at the time when the set was being previewed and advertised, the fact that they were actively playing up the fact that they were calling back to Jusum Jin. This card. That was part of the hype.
Does it get there?
I don't know. They might have tried it, but I don't think it gets there.
I think I probably agree with you. I think points for trying, but not quite enough.
Like Dark Suspicions is just another rack variant, essentially.
Yeah.
Not rack. Vice variant. A 4 mana enchantment that says at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player loses 1 life for each card in his or her hand more than you have in your hand. So I guess you could play this in some kind of like aggressive deck. Was that where you did this? Where you ran out of cards?
Yeah.
It costs 4. I mean,
so it's like the top end of an aggressive deck? This is this is weird. And then of course there's Lord of the Undead, who is my boy. I love Lord of the Undead.
Oh man.
He is not mythic.
No.
he's been reprinted as an uncommon.
Really?
In what kind of set?
Lord of the Undead. I really could have. I'm gonna run a quick gather.
No.
8th, 9th, 10th, and Planeshift. No, he's not an uncommon.
No.
Really? Okay, never mind. My bad.
So
I guess
I'm
there
like,
have,
no.
there have been uncommon zombie lords.
Oh
Yeah,
well, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
There's
That's
the,
what I
the
was.
war chiefs.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, the war chief was uncommon.
Well, War Chief is a heck of a zombie lord.
Yeah. Stark said
Maybe-
Lord of the Undead is mythic just for being the first good zombie lord.
I mean, he is pretty awesome,
Like he's mythic in our hearts, but not in
Yeah.
the set.
and he got totally sweet art. So
It's true. I do love the art.
Yeah,
But I think
the Braum Lord of the Undead art is pretty baller. And then
So
while we're on the Planeswalkers cards, I guess we should do this one. Planeswalker
Yeah.
Scorn costs 3, and for 4 mana, target opponent reveals a card at random from their hand. Target creature gets -X/-X, where X is that card's converted mana cost. Do this only when you can do a sorcery.
I mean, this is absolutely sick and limited. Just ridiculous. But
I can see that.
you got to pick the target before you know what the converted mana cost is.
Yup.
mhm.
All right, I really need to kill your 2/2. Here's a 1 cost.
So yeah.
And you're never going to kill like a 7/7 or something ridiculous. So
So yeah, putting this in the same cart as white, Diabolic Intent is the only one that I could even make a case for. Unlike blue, where I couldn't make a case for any of them.
yeah, this set, man. I said at the beginning, I was like, wow, this is going to be tough. I wouldn't think so because I mean, I have fond memories of this set, but yeah, it's just kind of rough.
How do you have fond memories of this set?
We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Goblin Game.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to go there. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the red cards are kind of
Yeah. So,
awful.
but Goblin Game requires you, if not in power level, it requires borderline manual dexterity, like manual dexterity-ish. Like, does the Oracle text remain the same? I gotta know. Yeah, it does. It talks about hiding items. So,
Yeah, that was like when they say hide items.
so Dirk, why don't you read? I've been reading a lot of cards. Why don't you read Goblin Game?
Goblin Game for 5 and 2 red. It's a sorcery and says each player hides at least 1 item. Then all players reveal them simultaneously. Each player loses life equal to the number of items they revealed. The player who revealed the fewest items then loses half their life rounded up. If 2 or more players are tied for fewest, each player loses half their life rounded up.
So, do I think this is a good card? No.
So if you
No.
only picked 1 item, and everyone only picks 1 item,
Then everyone
which would
loses
be the
half their life.
fewest,
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a good, but it requires everyone to hide objects or items. Like what? And it's a red life loss card. What? So I wonder if this one gets there just because.
On weirdness factor.
Well, so you know how, especially like in limited, they actually make some cards rare versus uncommon because they don't want you to see them a whole lot. I could see maybe making the case
Yeah.
where like we don't want this showing up a whole lot. We think if it's kind of neat, fun effect. Here's Squee, and he's got some stuff.
Yeah, sometimes they up the rarity of things that would be terrible and limited so that they don't ruin your pool when they show up.
Well, and just how do you want games with this to play out? You know, so.
Yeah, part of the official rulings for it is that the most practical way to do it is to just secretly choose a number and write it down somewhere and then reveal them at the same time. But that's not as fun as hiding stuff.
but the thing is why would you ever choose anything other than 1?
Because if you choose 2 and everyone else chooses 1, then you need to lose no life and everyone else loses 1.
It loses half.
It's like the common.
Oh yeah, half their life around it. That's right. Oh god, yeah.
It's like the ethics problem where the professor tells the lecture hall, okay, every row decides if they're going to, give everyone in class a B, or if they're going to be the one class that gives themselves an A or whatever. It's a little bit of politicking, but with unknown information. So.
But that's not what it says. Each player loses life equal to the number of items they revealed.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh.
Okay, so if everyone's at 20, and everyone hides one thing, then they go to 19, and then since they're all tied, they drop to 9. But if
let's say I bid 2.
And the rest of us bid 1. So Brian goes to 18, the rest of us go to 19. And then Brian stays at 18, and the rest of us drop to 9.
Because the first thing you do is everybody loses that much life. Then the next thing that happens is so
it's a dumb card, is what we're saying.
But the fact that we have to explain it this much,
Well, yeah, because it's a red rare, so it's got a billion words on it, and it does something stupid. I wonder if they would have made it mythic just so less people would have to look at it.
I'm telling you.
Maybe. No, that could have been a real reason. Tongarth isn't bad.
He's not bad. He is a red card with vigilance.
Yeah.
And he's a member of the Weatherlight crew, so
like at the time, vigilance was not super common, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it only really appeared naturally on white cards, and then a couple other bizarre cards in other colors here and there. It's interesting,
Eternal Warrior.
It's interesting though that Eternal Warrior, like the one aura that existed for a long time that gave vigilance, was red.
Yup. So Tongarth is a 4/4 for 5. He's got vigilance. At least that's what he says now. And for 1 and a red and tap, he deals damage equal to his power to target creature. Well, he fights target creature. I think it's does it say that? No, he doesn't fight. Wow.
Yeah, in a fight, the damage is done simultaneously, but the way Tongarth is written, it's done sequentially. And sometimes, in bizarre corner cases, that can matter.
Interesting. But like, if Tongarth kills it first, he's still gonna take damage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it doesn't
really
say
the difference between sequential or simultaneous depends on whether Tongarth has Infect or Wither.
Yeah. Excuse me.
What about Death Touch?
Death Touch wouldn't do anything special here.
Okay.
There'd be no difference between simultaneous and sequential for Death Touch.
Thank you.
There wouldn't?
No. Because Death Touch isn't going to kill the creature in the middle of Tongarth's ability.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's the same reason hitting like a 2/2 doesn't keep Tongarth from taking 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So you could totally give him Death Touch and then pay 1 a red and tap and kill target creature, and probably Tongarth too, if he had Death Touch.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to keep him from taking the damage. Got it. Okay, we're glad we're all on the same page. Whoops, that's Goblin Game.
Yeah, the one time where it would be different is if, like, you gave Tongarth Infect, then he would dump a bunch of -1/-1 counters on the other creature, and it would deal some reduced amount of damage back to him.
Yeah. But the other options are Dedapult, which is really cool, but not mythic, and Mog Sentry, which is like an
Mark Sentry.
anti-blue card, like.
I
Basically.
think so, yeah.
And then there's Planeswalker's Fury. So this one is 3 mana, pay 4, 3 mana to cast, pay 4. Target opponent reveals a card at random from their hand, and they take damage equal to that card's converted mana cost. Like the player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's...
It's like their spell blows up in their hands.
Is that like the best one?
It's the one that does something impactful most often. I'm not entirely sure why it has to activate this only at sorcery speed, Rider.
Probably because they all did?
No,
Oh no, the white one did it.
neither does the green one.
Oh, we haven't gotten there yet. Spoilers, Mike. Jeez. Yeah, that's weird. So, I could make a case for Goblin Game just on sheer, oh god, I hope less people see this. And I could make a better case probably for Tungarth because big story thing, it's got vigilance, which was weird at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got the fight ability that isn't a fight ability.
Yeah, and that's got the alternate art on the foil, which is what we're being shown here in Gatherer.
Oh, it is?
Yep. Foil print is alternate art.
Oh, that's all. Of course, because... Oh, wait, no other variations. There we go. It's like Gatherer stupid, so it doesn't show us both. Oh, that's the one I recognize. Yeah, okay. So the foil had alternate art.
Mm-hmm.
On just Tungarth?
And Urte and Skyship Weatherlight.
Really?
Really?
I don't think I ever knew that.
Not very many people do.
I was wondering why I didn't recognize Tungarth's art at all. Because I'm thinking of this art. I'll be damned. Okay, well, I think in that case that he totally gets it then because it was a marketing thing.
Yeah, and marketing things count.
I mean, it's what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, thank you, Mike. I learned something today.
You're welcome.
All right, so let's do green. I guess. How do we feel on Tungarth and on red?
I'm good with Tungarth.
I think it's probably good.
Okay. All right, so green. What do we have here? Oh wow.
Yeah.
I scrolled down because they're not all on 2 lines with the way I have it sorted, and I forgot about Quirion Dryad.
Yeah, Quirion Dryad is awesome.
Like, isn't Quirion Dryad one of the big ones? Or am I
Yeah,
thinking
it
of a
was
different Quirion card?
It was the Miracle Grow deck.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. So whenever you play a white, blue, black, or red spell, so you put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it's a 1/1 for 2. With a Vine Whip. And a hair bra, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Baby.
Got the Lady Godiva action right there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did you say a hair bra?
Yeah, I couldn't think of it. I know with a hand bra, so I assume that hair bikini? But like separating it from the deck that was big because of it, like I don't think that's Mythic.
I mean, I don't know that it quite gets there. It seems fairly safely balanced at a 1/1 for 2. That yes, it can get bigger, but in a multicolored set. But it doesn't say if it said when you play a white spell, put a counter here. If it gave them all separate, then next turn you're rewarded for playing a multicolored spell that's not green. That could start to get crazy. But this is just, hey, when you cast a spell that's not green and not an artifact, it gets a counter. Seems fine. I not overlooking its impact at the time. I think probably rare, but I'm not sure what to do with green. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know about Gaia's Herald, but
I mean, there really is nothing here that really pulls itself ahead of the pack?
Nemhada, maybe?
Only because it's a legendary.
I get yeah. Yeah.
So what's Namada do?
What's the
So
motto with you? Sorry.
Yeah. God.
Boo! Boo!
Done.
You were
Keep going.
waiting for that, weren't you, Brian?
You have no idea.
So it's a 4/5 for 4 green, a 4/5 for 6. Legendary tree folk. You can pay 2 and a green to create a 1/1 green sapling token. And you can sacrifice a sapling. All saplings get +1/+1 until end of turn. So easy mana sink for just making saplings, and then if you have a big crowd of them, you can sacrifice some to make the big crowd bigger.
Yeah. Straightforward enough.
I mean, a
Maybe.
sap producer is cool, but what about an almost unblockable 2/6?
For 5 mana.
That's
That
the Magnegoth Treefolk, which is a 2/6 for 5 that says, for each basic land type among lands you control, it has land walk of that type.
Still better than Planeswalker's Favor.
Ooh, what's that?
It is the green Planeswalker card for 2 and a green. It sits there, and then for 3 and a green, target opponent reveals a card at random from his or her hand. Target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the revealed card's converted mana cost. Now, maybe it's not terrible because you can do this in combat, unlike some of the others. And so maybe if you're careful, you know, they can block, and then, you know, you can try to figure out, all right, this is the creature that, as long as I turn up something, it will survive. But they have access to their hand. You don't. So they're going to be the one making the blocking decisions. I don't know. I don't think this one's getting there.
Well, yeah, it's obviously not Mythic.
Not even slightly.
I don't even think it's that
I don't
good.
think it's good. Yeah. I don't think it's a good card.
And since we're done with we've done all the others, Gaia's Herald is one that has been reprinted several times. For 1 and a green and 1/1 elf, creature spells can't be countered by spells or abilities.
Now, how commonly was this effect showing up back then? Like Orum's Chant, do we have a case here for... Well, that's kind of different.
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
So this was the first printing. It was in 8th and then 10th with the crazy whatever lady art.
Mm-hmm.
The menagerie lady. I remember this art freaked me right out.
Remember, Insist was from Odyssey of Black, which came later, so no. Okay. I don't remember whether there was anything before that stopped people from countering creature spells in a similar way.
Like counterspell or essentially blue spells.
Well, something that said creature spells can't be countered.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might make a case for that then, for Gaia's Herald. I think I don't want to do like the reverse bias, where just because we have seen it reprinted, just because we have seen this sort of effect more often, we discount the fact that at the time this would have been like, oh wait, all my stuff can't be countered? Cool.
Well, the only times that the exact phrase "creature spells can't be countered" have been printed on cards is Gaia's Herald and Leyline of Life Force.
Okay. So you know what? I think I'm gonna go with that one. compared. The sapling guy, I get it, but I think I'm gonna go with Gaia's Herald.
The only one here that has something special, unique about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Namada's legendary, but not one of the big story legendaries, and also not great. Just from a power or special perspective. Sure. So I guess we can make a case for Gaia's Herald, but it's kind of shaky again.
Yeah.
That's a very low bar we just set.
Right?
For Gaia's Herald to be a mythic in this set.
Oh, yeah, and the reprint art of Quarian Dryad does still have the hair bra. I forgot about that. Except it's leafy hair? What? Okay. She's just naked under all those leaves. This is a weird card. Let's get that off the screen. Terms of service. Alright, so now we have gold cards. Actually, tell you what. Let's skip to the bottom first. We'll finish on the gold cards. So we've got Brian's favorite, Draco, and then the Skyship Weatherlight, which now I have to go see both versions of the art. Oh, both. Okay. Yep, I don't recognize the foil art at all. Nope.
Yeah.
So what do we think about artifacts?
Both mythic.
All right, Brian gave the expected answer. What's
I'm totally biased here. You know it. So you might as well just talk amongst yourselves.
I think the Weatherlight doing the different foil thing is probably... Plus, it's the Weatherlight. I think that's...
Weatherlight. I mean...
Yeah. And it's got a really bizarre effect. Like, it searches your library for the crew and the legacy, and then hides them below deck.
Yeah.
And then later you can tutor them up to come out of randomly from below deck. Be like, hey, someone get up here. And someone will show up, and then you can cast it. It's a very strange card. So for 4, let's just pull it up. For 4, it's a legendary artifact. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for any number of artifact or creature cards and exile them, and then shuffle. And then you pay 4 and tap to choose a card at random that was exiled with the Skyship Weatherlight and put it into its owner's hand. Wow, Skyship Weatherlight's not a good card.
Didn't say it was, but it's iconic.
Yeah, it's better if you're getting a smaller pile of stuff, then you have a better chance of getting the thing you intended.
True.
Yeah.
That makes it a little less exciting, too.
But you're still playing 8 mana for a tutor. Granted, it's a colorless tutor.
Yeah. I mean, how many times did James Daytome get reprinted? You know.
I mean, what?
Yeah. So basically it's like that. It's on the... Think about it in the same way you would. Like, you know, on one side, James Daytome, and then other things like Urza's Blueprints or Planar Portal. Or things similar to that.
Yeah, and James Daytome was a rare for way too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like in 8th edition and 10th edition, it was still pay 4 for an artifact, pay 4, tap, draw a card. So, yeah, I can see the Weatherlight being James Daytome, but bigger and more flashy.
I kind of look at the Weatherlight as you've got the draw step. This is an additional draw step, but you just have to pay 4 for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're technically drawing 2 cards.
Except the second one you draw is from a smaller deck that has stuff that you intentionally put there.
Right.
Yeah. All right. And so what about, for not Brian, what about Draco? Like, Draco is big and cheap and stupid and huge, but like, is it Mythic? I honestly don't know. So if you're playing the right deck, it's what?
Yeah. If you're playing the right deck, it's a 9/9 with flying for 6 mana.
Yeah, and with no upkeep.
Yep.
But it only works in that deck. Otherwise, it's expensive and has an obnoxious upkeep. Like, even, do you even bother with if you've only got 4 of the basics? Actually, I think you do.
Yeah, I think so. 4 makes it worthwhile.
Yeah.
Even at 3, it's, yeah, you're paying 10, but you're getting a 9/9 flyer out of it. And if you're able to pay 10, then you're probably going to be able to come up with 4 during your upkeep.
True.
Draco has a case. He's big and awesome.
He is definitely big and awesome. All right, I can see that.
Aha.
He can have the spot that Blue didn't get. So
There you go.
There.
You go. He's also
or green. I mean,
he's also a dragon, so which is not an automatic mythic, but it doesn't hurt. So, all right, cool. Glad you guys agree with me. But I knew there was no way. You had to know there was no way I wasn't going to argue for it. So, glad we're on the same page.
So what about the lands?
Nah.
I looked at City for so long. I mean, Meteor Crater's kind of cool. Wasn't it reprinted in Shadowmoor? No,
Really?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, not reprinted.
no.
I'm thinking of a Reflecting Pool,
Yes, you're thinking of Reflecting Pool.
which is not the same.
Not
thing.
the same. Yeah.
No, Meteor Crater is kind of interesting, but not mythic. And Forsaken City, oh,
Is so bad. So it's all right. So Forsaken City, it's a city of brass that doesn't hurt you. Which tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Sick. But then it doesn't untap during your untap step, and you have to exile a card from your hand to untap it, but only during your upkeep.
I feel like that this is a card that would only get played if someone said, "Okay, you have to build a deck with this card in it. Good luck."
And held a gun to your head.
Let's see what you build.
Yeah, in a way, it's almost like a budget Lotus Petal. Just a single use, get 1 mana of any color.
I think you're giving it too much credit.
I'm sure there's a deck that this would do well in, but that would not make it a mythic.
I'm sure there's a deck that could use this, not necessarily well.
Not in a mythic way.
All right. So what Mike initially said, which was what, Mike?
Nah.
You've taken a long time to go back and basically expound upon
Oh
the
god.
nah-ness, but the nah-ness is correct.
It's pretty obvious. Nah.
Yeah.
All right. So gold cards.
So these are more interesting.
Uh,
I mean, Meddling Mage question mark. It's an invitational card, and once again, kind of a unique effect. Yes, we did have a while ago. We had the is it Null Chamber? It's got 2 guys in what looks like the Danger Room, and I can see it. What's that?
I think
called?
it's Null Chamber. I'll
Null
look it up.
Chamber. But I think that's both players get to name a card.
Yes, you're right. Null Chamber. And yes, both people name a card.
So Meddling Mage for a white and a blue, if you don't know, it's a 2/2 wizard, human wizard, I'm assuming now. As it enters the battlefield, name a non-land card. The named card can't be, I'm assuming, cast. It says played. Cast because it's a non-land card. So, yeah, I mean, literally shuts down the card of your choice. And yes, they have to kill it, but dies to removal is not a valid argument to me for something not being mythic.
Well, yeah, because everything dies to Doomblade.
I mean, Tarmogoyf dies to mythic. Tarmogoyf dies to mythic. Yeah, I can't talk. Yes, bad argument. Meddling Mage, yay or nay?
Possibly.
Yeah, because it's a cool, unique effect, and it's an invitational card.
Okay.
Although I could also see them printing it at rare just to get more copies out there and doing things, but
yeah, that had just occurred to me as you were saying it.
Not necessarily because it's the invitational card, but just because of what it does. But I think that now I'm metagaming myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I rescind that. I can totally see Meddling Mage being mythic.
All right. We also talked about the Minotaur and the Weatherlight having those alternate arts. There was also, I didn't know about them, but I knew there was an alternate art for Urtai the Corrupted. So this is another legendary creature from the Weatherlight saga that was part of the crew until he turned evil. So, what do you think of this guy? I just read a card, so I'll let somebody else read this one.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
So Urte is a 3/4. Oh, let me read this. Human wizard. Surprised they let him be human after all that. Human wizard for two white, blue, black. And this ability is pay blue, tap, sacrifice a creature or enchantment, counter target spell.
It's kind of sick.
Yeah, that's a really small mana investment. Yes, you got to sacrifice something, but only one blue and tap in addition to sacrifice something to just up and counter a spell.
Any spell.
Mm-hmm.
At all.
Nope, it's got to be target spell.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's got too many arms.
He has more than when he started, it's true.
Yeah, it's freaking me out, man.
He's been completed.
Ugh.
Basically, I think the Weatherlight, they kind of like left him behind, and Phyrexia was like, yo, dog, revenge? And he's like, yeah.
We heard you like arms. But yeah, I think the fact that it's an actual, at the very least, not bad card. I don't know how the mana cost fits in. Costing 5 might be a bit, but like, it's the another legendary, and it's got the 2 arts. So yeah, I think this one probably is a no-brainer.
Okay. What about something else? I've named 2 now. What about something else?
I'm gonna say Draw News Crusade, only because you get Zoblin Gombies out.
Oh my god!
You do.
Yes, you do.
You do.
But seriously, no, don't. No, this is not.
It's like you've
I'm
heard.
totally joking. No, don't put that down.
You've heard about the Zoblin Gombi, but what if they were all Zoblin Gombies?
And just a little bit bigger.
Okay, sorry, what?
And just a little bit bigger too. The goblins get +1/+1 and become Zoblin Gombies.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah, they
load 'em up
actually
in the
do look
Dedapult.
kind of sickly. They might need to see a doctor.
Oh, you could load them up in the Dedapult. Dude, you could get way more goblins than you can just normal zombies back then.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm building that deck. In 2020. I'm on it.
2020 goals.
I wonder about natural emergence.
I don't
It's
know
an
what to do.
enchantment for 2 red and a green. And it's a gating enchantment rather than the gating creatures that show up in Planeshift. When it enters the battlefield, return a red or green enchantment you control to its owner's hand. So it takes some effort to get this onto the battlefield, but lands you control are 2/2 creatures with first strike. They're still lands.
It has some significance to it.
It
It's
makes
the
it.
first
I
strike
see
that
where
really
you're
makes it
coming
pop.
from.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to kill your lands. So, question mark.
But if you're using some effect to turn your lands into creatures, it's because you want to roll up on somebody.
I gotcha. Oh, trust me. I think I had this in a deck at one point, and then I think it backfired on me. So,
Oh, and we had a comment earlier. Someone had noticed Hongarth's fancy art and wondered if it was because he was the promo card. No, Questing Feldegriff was the pre-release promo card for this set. It was printed in Greek.
Oh, yeah, that's when they did different languages for the promo card.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. I don't know about natural emergence. Like, I don't think we've done any of the other all your lands or creatures things as Mythic.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, it's kind of a unique effect. What do you think about Urza's Guild? I don't know that it's Mythic, but it's kind of like this pivotal story point. I mean,
I like Urza's Guild.
You're a
I don't-
monster.
I don't think it's Mythic. Yeah, I know.
okay.
That's true. He does know.
Because I don't mind, I don't mind discarding cards and losing life because I get to draw some cards too. But so it's an ideal card for me to be happy about and my opponents to be sad about.
I didn't really think it was that strong a contender, but it does depict Urza and Mishra, and those are some pretty big names. So, well, Urza's a short name, but you know what I mean.
Wait a minute. Urza's Guilt isn't the card I was thinking of, apparently. So I retract the you're a monster. It's not actually a monster card.
Oh, he's still a monster.
Okay, yes. Wait, no, that is the card I'm thinking of. But when you're under a portcullis, then you're a monster. I think that's what I was thinking of. Right?
What?
I have no
Urza's
idea.
Guild doesn't really interact with portcullis.
No, okay, there's a different card I'm thinking of then.
I think I feel what kind of card you're talking about, but I don't know what it is.
I can't remember. It's some nonsense I think Corey probably did to us that I've blocked.
That sounds about
Why
right.
did we play with that guy? Jesus.
That Mike said.
Because he was
That's
your
not how that
roommate and he had
works.
magic cards.
And he didn't do that all the time, just some of the time.
Yeah.
What was that, Dirk?
The times when it was he would do something and then 10 minutes later after we've all just been like, okay, whatever, we're dead, and Mike goes, but that's not how that works, and then Corey reads it and goes, dang it. And then we spent another 10 minutes waiting for him to do something where he killed us anyway, but he had to go about it a different way. Was that one of those cards?
Possibly?
I don't know how. There was one game where I'd swear we had enough time to go upstairs and do something. We walked away from the game, came back, and Mike and Corey were still on the exact same thing, trying to figure out if we all died.
That would not surprise me in the slightest.
Huh. So
Anything else in gold, or do we think we're...
Chat brought up Doomsday Spectre, but No.
No. I was looking at Destructive Flow, but that's just a jerk. For a black, a red, and a green, what is that? What is that from Alara?
Jund.
Jund, the bad, yeah, not the bad one, the like mean one. It's an enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a non-basic land. It just feels mean. That doesn't mean it can't be mythic, but
Isn't it Apocalypse was just a faster version of this card? Because you just destroyed all lands all at once, as opposed to this, which just incrementally.
That'd be Ruination if you're talking about just non-basic lands.
or
I get a feeling he was thinking just Armageddon, just all at once.
Yeah, it's
Armageddon,
like,
not
this does it slowly, whereas Armageddon's just like, nah, just everyone just your lands are gone.
Well, for this one, since it only hits non-basic lands, then you could be playing all basics, and the Destructive Flow is only hurting your opponents. You're like, ha ha ha.
Or if your only non-basics are for Forsaken Cities, you don't care if they get blown up.
See, there you go.
Nailed it.
There's the deck.
Oh, that's so sad. What?
Someone in chat brought up Eladamri's Call earlier.
Could be a 2-mana tutor with no nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking about Diabolic Intent, so
A green and a white. I keep forgetting Eladamri's Call is an instant.
Yeah.
Search a library for a creature card, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle. Nailed it. I don't know if that... I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe if we needed one more, we could maybe make a case for the Call? Like, the fact that it's an instant is actually massive. I keep forgetting that. I don't know if I've ever owned a Call, so...
Well, again, the only reason why this card would potentially not be is what creatures would be able to go and be gotten using the Call. Because again, we look at it today and like, oh man, this would be absolutely mythic because you could do this, 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 and this. At that time, could you go and get something in, but it would be green and white with some sort of splash color potentially.
I don't think... so wait. I think...
Were there
okay.
good creatures to be gotten?
There we go. I was like, yes, you can get any creature, Dirk. That's what it says. That's not what you're asking. Okay.
Yeah, are there any good creatures to be gotten?
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I can't remember if there were any creature-based combos, like for real combos, that would have existed at the time. You know, I'm sure kitchen table people had all kinds of creature-based combos, and we did too. But yeah, like I don't think there was any crazy. Oh, what's that card's name?
Steve.
The angel with Echo that brings something back from the graveyard.
Resto Angel? With Echo.
I
Karmic
see
Guide.
it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there was any weird Karmic Guide loop at the time or anything like that.
So
But, you know, most creatures weren't all that hot, but there were some creatures that were good, so you could just go get the good creature.
I don't know. This set really sucks.
It's wacky.
For our purposes anyway, this set sucks.
Yeah, for this exercise.
If you're not Draco, everything's pretty rough.
Not
Right,
artifacts in this
if
set.
you're not Draco, don't even talk to me.
Wow. If I could condense that down to a smaller soundbite, that could be a title. If you're not Draco, no. All right. Well, I guess that's probably it for Planeshift then, huh?
There you go.
Yep.
Apocalypse should be more interesting, I think. I haven't read ahead.
I have no
so-
idea.
We'll
We'll
find out.
see.
Welp, now what?
Do you want to do the other thing that's been ready, or do we just want to call it? It's 10 o'clock. Do you want to do one real quick?
It's up to you guys. I'm going to be up for hours anyway, so I don't care.
Hey, Dirk.
I think by the time we do our final thoughts, I'll be gone.
So Dirk does not want to do the other thing. That's fine.
Okay,
We can do the other thing later.
that's true. It is always with us.
Ow. Brian's had a Mad Lib put together for a while, and we just
Like,
haven't had time to do it.
Long time. Yeah.
But that's
Hey.
okay. It'll be nice to not put up a 2.5 hour podcast episode.
There you go.
So how about some final thoughts then, my dorks? My dorks.
well, I guess I'll go first then.
Yeah.
This is Planeshift. Planeshift is the rares. I mean, they're rares.
Yes, they are.
Definitely rares. This was a hard one. I mean, previous ones I've sort of, all right, we're doing this. Okay, let me pull it up. Let me quickly look over these. I was on long enough. I got through. I got down to the multicolored, looking through and kind of, okay, what would I pick? And there were green was the green and I think it was black. What I think it was some I just went through and thought, I have no idea. Like there's just green is just not like it's not bad, but nothing's mythic in looking at it. So again, this was a toughie.
This
to do.
was a toughie.
Yeah. Yeah, final thought wise, in terms of magic, in this one, this was. I'm hoping that with the ones we have left, there will actually be stuff that we can look at and go, yeah, that would be good. But yeah, this one just did not have any mythic stuff. Did not have very mythic-y stuff to it. Other than that, nothing. There's nothing else that comes to mind. No. Personal life and everything. Nothing major to report. Still here.
Thank goodness.
That's about as good as I can give at this point. Is that we're still here. No one's sick. And to the listeners and everything, I hope you guys are being safe and you know, if anyone is, you know, sending out prayers and everything for you guys. I've been praying for my family. I've been praying for you guys. Been praying for the dorks. I've been, you know, just trying to make sure everybody's being safe. This is something else. There's been a lot of stuff that's been something else recently, and this whole year.
Yeah. 2020 is a whole. Is a whole other animal.
Yeah.
Personally, I hope we all survive it and live long enough to see history books where 2020 is a chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The year that never ended.
It's going to be a chapter in history books. It's going to be a freaking elective course in college.
You know what? I might audit one of those. I was there.
I don't know. Part of me feels like once we get through this year, I never want to look back. So, I mean, definitely want to take the approach of learning from our mistakes. So, not saying ignore it completely, but reliving it. Hey, do we know what the next actual set will be? And no, I'm not counting Amonkhet again.
Yeah, Zendikar Rising.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. I was trying to remember.
And the previews for that'll start in like 3 weeks or something.
I can't tell if you're being serious or not.
I am being serious, yeah. The set comes out at the end of September. So
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, we've got 4 weeks max.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I like new cards. So, guess I can live with that.
Sure.
Maybe we'll see one of these cards in that set.
Dirk, shut up. They might hear you.
No, with our luck, that will be what happens. And then we'll just go,
We'll get another Feldegriff variant, and it'll be awesome.
Hell yeah.
What are you talking about? We're gonna end up with the where is it? The questing
Feldegriff.
Yeah.
That thing that Mike literally just said, yeah.
Oh, I thought he said something. Was another hippogriff is what I heard. But
I mean, I'll take a
yeah,
questing
we'll end up with
Feldegriff
that.
print. That'd be cool. Could be worse. It could be freaking one of those other bad cards. Anything in white, for that matter. Or blue. It could get Goblin Game. Oh, dude, Forsaken City's totally going to be in Zendikar Rising. Calling it now.
Forsaken.
I'm just saying, if Goblin Game ever got reprinted again, oh gosh, there's gonna have to be judges that explain how this thing works. Because I mean, it took us all looking at going, but it says this, so that means this, and
Red rares. So, for my final thought, I will say, I told the guys this before the show, but my daughter has started playing Final Fantasy VI, and right now one of her favorite characters is Shadow. She doesn't mind the fact that he's an assassin. He has a dog.
He has a dog, yeah.
that's
And the first time he was in the party, and she ran into a random encounter, the very first thing that she had was like the dog intercepted the attack and then did its counterattack. And most of her attacks right now, like physical attacks, are dealing under 100, and then a special like a blitz or something might deal 200 or so. And interceptor catches the attack, so it deals no damage to Shadow, and then uses its counterattack and deals this big bird thing like 800 damage. And she's like,
Yup.
I love this dog.
He is the bestest boy.
He is the bestest boy. So it doesn't matter that he, kills people for money. He has a dog.
What?
So
No, I mean Interceptor's the bestest boy. Shadow's whatever. He's just the guy that comes with the dog.
He's the guy that you can't have Interceptor in the party. So Shadow's the I guess the doggy daycare. So
she lucked out that that Shadow stuck around to the Phantom Train, because he cannot leave the party once you get on the Phantom Train. I've played, and Shadow left my party before that.
Oh yeah, I forget what causes that.
He just randomly leaves your party at some point.
I have heard that he can leave the party randomly. It's never happened to me. I guess I just never ticked him off enough. I don't know if there's a certain number of random battles, because my thing was
I would go to the Veld and I would just level grind for a little bit, and then he left my party
Oh, he
one
always
time
lived right.
before we got to Doma.
He, okay. Well, the Velt is after Doma.
Oh well. Anyway, we were there and he left. He left my party on the Veld.
He can't. He doesn't go to the Velt. Like, he leaves you at the falls at the very latest, before you jump down the waterfall. So I thought you meant he left you before then.
Yeah, he left my party before the Phantom Train.
Okay.
I want to say.
Yeah, I just Googled it, and I found a GameFAQs post, actually, where someone answered, yes, Shadow has a certain percentage chance of leaving after every battle until you reach a certain island later on.
Huh.
On that island, he'll stay with the party until the major plot scene takes place. After that, when you recruit him, it means the floating island, I think.
Yeah. Hint, hint,
Okay.
wink, wink, nudge, nudge, certain island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what island are they talking? Oh. But yeah, apparently he's just got a chance to just bugger off after
Wow.
every fight.
I had heard that. I had just never actually seen it. I guess I was just always lucky. That would stink, especially.
I know
that
I
was
had
a
him
tough
leave.
fight because that was it. He did it one time, and then I think I don't know how I did it. I think I quit the game. Like I just shut it off and then restarted because I did a pretty good job of saving and everything. So that way he didn't leave my party, and as soon as the game started up, I was like, I gotta move before I lose him, before I get to the Phantom Train.
I mean, I guess, if there's that random chance to leave every time you engage in a battle, you're risking it. So, but anyway, so she's having fun with that. Although she does say, I was like, before you get started, because we had just hooked up the Wii and the old place and the PlayStation 2, and we were going through games, and she's like, these all look so old. I'm like, yes, I know. So when I said, before you say anything, this is an old game. I played it when I was a kid. She's like, okay, I get it. Boot it up. Loading screen. This looks so old, Dad. But now, so we started yesterday, and today she's like, "Hey, can we play some more?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, we can play the old game. Sure, that's fine."
So are you playing the Final Fantasy? I mean the Final Fantasy not Chronicles.
Final Fantasy
Anthology
version. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. That's my final thought. Everything else is exactly as it's been. So. Whew.
Yeah. Mike?
Final thoughts. There's a lot of fun stuff at common and uncommon in Planeshift. There's the battle mages and the familiars and the dragon charms and the layers and terminate. There's all kinds of stuff. So yes, the rare is very weird. But there's other stuff in this set that's fun.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I forgot Terminate was in Planeshift.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. How about that?
That's when it first showed up.
Jarga's throwing Krovax into a volcano.
Like you do.
That is, in fact, what happens to most blue-black players that I know.
Besides that, I don't think I really have any other comments.
Fair enough. Well, then that just leaves me. So, So as of today, the today that we're recording this today, the new Hearthstone set came out, and I opened up a whole mess of packs and did some deck building and whatnot. I had some early success with a handlock deck, so I'm really hoping that is a deck that's viable, because I always love handlock. And I'm not a good deck builder, and I built this thing from scratch, and it's working. Which means that someone that is a good deck builder could build this deck better. And then I could, you know, just do what they did. It'll be awesome. But I got a hand lock.
Deck.
Do what?
I said net deck.
Yup.
I haven't used that phrase in forever. Remember when that used to be a thing? Like a derisive thing?
It was. Now it's the way you play card games, apparently.
Yeah. Wait, you don't get your decks online?
Weirdo.
Sorry, go ahead.
I also built a new pure Libram Paladin that was pretty cool. I built a dual Paladin that's fun, but I can't beat Druids, and that's the only thing anybody's freaking playing on the day one of the patch. Bastards. And yeah, I had a couple other things in mind, but I either didn't open the right epics and legendaries for them, or I just didn't have time to build those before I had to stop the stream. So yeah, I'm very excited though. This new meta could potentially be oppressive and not fun, but it could also be really awesome. So just have to see how it shakes out. Obviously, I'm hoping for the awesome. Not the oppressive and unfun. But yeah, I'll have all of mine and Mike's set review went up over the last week. We did 4 videos. It took us, how many hours did it take us, Mike?
Like 4.5.
Something like that? 4? No, it had to be more than that.
Maybe it was 4 3/4.
No,
I don't think it was. I don't think it was a full 5.
It was, because we started at like 2:30, didn't we? And we stopped at 7:30.
I was late. Yeah.
Because I had to push back the watch party. By the way, on Saturdays, if you have Amazon Prime, you should come here to twitch.tv/themanapool and do the watch party with us every Saturday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Unless we have to push it back for a set review, about 30 minutes. Last week we watched The Running Man in the first Terminator movie, and this week, by the time you hear this, it'll be too late, I'm sorry, but we're watching The Beastmaster and the first Highlander movie. So they're going to be awesome. Yes. But yeah, the set review videos went up. I'll have the pack opening video up in the next day or so. And hopefully I'll be able to get some... I looked over and I wasn't recording at one point, so I don't know if I recorded any of the games or if I screwed up and did... I don't know what happened. But I can download the stream if I have to, and because I had some really cool games with the new decks from day one. So hopefully I'll be able to turn those into a couple videos. But yay! And of course, I stream stuff all the time and whatever. You know the deal. All the links are down in the description or in the show notes or in the whatever. YouTube, Twitch. If you buy games for PC or Switch, you should check out the Humble store using our link. Go to humblebundle.com. Use their referral link that's down there. That helps. Someone, while I was streaming, I think... Oh god, was that today? Or last night? Someone bought something that cost like 60 or 70 bucks, and it just popped up on the screen. A Humble store purchase was bought for this much, and I'm like,
Wow.
I got some percentage of that. I wonder what the hell they bought. So, thank you, mystery person. It doesn't tell me who you are, but that was freaking cool. And what did you buy? Because I'm curious. What? Because that's a lot of money to spend on Humble at once. I'm confused and curious. Anyway. So, yes. And also, of course, if you want to help support what I do with all of this content that I make, then go to patreon.com/themanapool and sign up to become a lifeguard. I have a new thing in the works that I'm still trying to wrap my brain around, but when I do, I'm going to make up a thing and then put it on Patreon to get give the lifeguards a first shot to tell me how to improve or what they think or whatever. So, there you go. I guess that's another perk. You can tell me how bad I am before things go out to the public. Once I get it all figured out. I'm still trying to come up with an angle. I think I have an angle, but I'm trying to refine it, and then I have to write a script, then I have to capture footage, and it's going to be a mess. But it's going to be awesome if I can get it figured out. I'm very excited to be trying something new. Yay. But okay, so I would like to thank, by the way, our Mythic Lifeguards, because you get the sponsorship shout out if you're on the Mythic Lifeguard tier. I don't know what order this is in, so I'll just read it this way. Al, Kim Maho, Scuzzo, John Parker, Jake Jansen's Beardy Man, Timu Hellas Haru, PJ McMullen, The Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine, Jason Kaus, Andrew Hunt, Lance Delicious, Cody Buckowing. Oh crap, I scrolled too far. Where's Cody? There he is. Casey, Jeff Spencer, Danny Liao, John Morris, Jason Doan, Connor Kennedy, Backwards Logic, Aleph Cat, ALK Alters, and Gothic Man. Yay! Thank you all so very much for your support, and to all of the lifeguards at every tier. I really do appreciate it, because, you let me keep the lights on while I keep doing what I'm doing. So, awesome. But with that, we will be done with the Mana Pool number 598. Wow. So, thank you all so very much for joining us, and, if you're not Draco, no.
There you go.